and political power.
WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me.
This is Tori Muhammad, and we want you to tune in to the Tori Muhammad Show that airs here on What's in It for the Black People Media every Monday and Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We talk and celebrate Black-owned businesses, Black entrepreneurs, and we talk to some of the best people in the food industry here in Chicago, Black chefs, Black restaurateurs. So make sure that you tune in to us every Monday and Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
We out west with it, where we live illegal, leaning off a leader, riding regal, tipping scales like Libras. Inhale, no L's, pulling out blocks like Jenga. In the rear of a Caprice's Billy Rams, flicking decent nonetheless. Nothing less than tens for the speakers. You'll hear us before you see us with beats that beat the streets up. Yeah. So try and keep up and keep it low key, cuz police try and treat us and keep us on a leash, cuz that's how they see us, thinking we nuts. Cuz we'll die for the ground beneath us, because this land made us. This land made of players that stay on paper. That's how we came up amongst the mayhem to the day when we display what we made of. The game could never change us, the West Side teaches. On these streets where you find that D before G. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just gotta been a plot. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into strength. Smell the grind in the air, take a whiff. Only the nose knows the aroma. Compose the money rolls that fold up, holding cold cups. Searching for those that got the purple O's for the $4. And we could go nuts and stay at the stove like grocers, and post up with O's on the table like coasters. That's how the game coached us, made us all in the soldiers. Now that dough is the focus, so know that we own this. Molded by the hood role models, riding good, the latest model, drinking good, raising bottles like we just missed a pothole. You got to know that it's impossible to stop our flow. We've seen it all from watching cops reload 30s a dro while drinking the night away until the block got slow. You'll know as soon as you see us, we the ones laid back in the cut. My demeanor seems to always get me up. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just gotta been a plot. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into strength. Yeah, home of the survivor, survival of the fittest in the town. It's wicked, you can J down in a minute. What am? What's the business? The biz is how you down and get it. From Cape Town to Fifth City, the sounds of Fifth's empty. When we tipsy, it's risky. Where the lick be, at least 10 deep. It tempts me, but there's no mystery. Where the chips be, the tips G. Just our history from the 60s. Pimping ain't easy, but we bleed it. This here game is in our veins, in the air we breathe in. Believe this, it's no game, but the key is your mouthpiece, spit your game. But believe, turn nothing into something. We suffer without supper long enough. Struggling from summer to summer, the same place where the dope is sold. It's home to the Oprah show, the same place I know is home. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just gotta been a plot. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into
notice, the Entourage DJs are taking over the game. The Midwest invasion is here, and the true Midwest mixtape king is giving it to you. It's DJ G-Spot banging your mixtapes right now.
You are now listening to Myth Mixtape. DJ G-Spot and Mick Lou.
Chi-Town's finest. It's definitely representing. South side, west side, stand up.
Yeah, they honor my persona. See my coat of arms, cloaked in armor. Live and die by the code of honor. The honorable, known as Mick the Conqueror. My mantra is that of a monster. Vengeance is endless until you extinct like a condor. What you think I was armed for? I'm knocking at harm's door. Molded by the force, call me the Black Mamba. I'm putting up numbers like Kobe in the garden. My thought fears, thoughtless as I talk shit, and there's nothing as heartless as my heart lies deeper than the darkness that dwells where the sharks live. You sleeping with the fishies, surfing with the marlins. On the surface, I'll unleash the carnage till you surf, till you starving, searching for a market. I'm the pit boss, tally up your losses. Your fate is sealed way before the card flips. You marks ain't shit. Topic of discussion, they ain't talking about nothing. Keep their noses in the sump. Y'all ain't talking about shit. I hear them wolfing in the whispers, snakes in the grass. We ain't thinking about your ass. Y'all ain't talking about shit. Fucking lying, I ain't buying. Ain't nobody even trying to hear that dumb shit you kickin'. Y'all ain't talking about shit. Find yourself some business, get yourself a life, and skedaddle, motherfucker. Y'all ain't talking about shit. Unlike the players, y'all engage in betrayal. So brave, do anything for the day they can slay you. So devious, even if you can't even see the hate. I don't need to plead my case till you please. I seize the day. Feast off your mistakes from the cleanest of plates. Palate of a pharaoh, it's all seasoned to taste. A vision of perfection, at least 3 in my face. Fanning me with feathers, tease me with grace. I can't conceive defeat, nor will I concede the race to these conceited lames that can't believe my pace. So intrigued by my intrigue and display that intrigues the brain, there's nothing left to say. Hands down, I lure them to attack like Cassius. The allure of a champion with my banner in the rafters. Topic of discussion, they ain't talking about nothing. Keep their noses in the sump. Y'all ain't talking about shit. I hear them wolfing in the whispers, snakes in the grass. We ain't thinking about your ass. Y'all ain't talking about shit. Fucking lying, I ain't buying. Ain't nobody even trying to hear that dumb shit you kickin'. Y'all ain't talking about shit. Find yourself some business, get yourself a life, and skedaddle, motherfucker. Y'all ain't talking about shit. This is it, Phase 1. The red letter edition. Big Luda. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah. It's not a song, I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on, yeah. Before I finish my thesis, not a pastor or a preacher. My passion is deeper, rapper / teacher, trying to master the teachings past the sinister streets and moving bags past the police is speeding fast in the evening. The truth is it's all about eating, but I'm feeding food for thought for those either fasting or feasting. Putting faith in my beliefs when I'm speaking, looking straight till I'm decent, at peace with no fear, believing it's real. I tell them it's heaven, but it's hard when you talking to niggas with no ears. From clouds of chronic coughing and sessions off, walking and stressing, straight lost in the essence. I pause for a second with my thoughts and reflections. I take my losses as lessons, but it's all just a blessing, and that's the mess. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah. It's not a song, I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on. If you just rotate with me, yeah. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah. It's not a song, I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on. If you just rotate with me. In an instant, friendship seeing quick in the music business. It used to be just music, now it's just business. The relentless pursuit for loot, dividends and interest, hidden agendas, leaving you defenseless against them. Not to mention intentions to benefit from you penning authentic sentences. Shit for the spinach, niggas that did it. Listen, while you scribbling, picturing images of living on premises, surrounded by fences and different women in silky linens, bending and grinning, intended rentals, you slipping, cause these Vicks is out, tricking your chips in. The game's cutthroat, rules was laid back in the day before rappers got paid by sponsors that slung dope. And shit ain't really changed beside the amount of change the game. Famous names so these lames can front, so I change the game. See my future through the blunt smoke so high, looking at my future through the blunt smoke. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah. It's not a song, I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on. If you just rotate with me, yeah. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah. It's not a song, I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on. If you just rotate with me, I'm invincible, guarded by two identical, invisible guardian angels that guard every angle of my physical frame. Spiritual miniature ministers whispering, keeping me on the top of my game. Lessons to gain, pleasure and pain. Like my eyes, they reside on the left and right side of my brain. Quietly praying, navigating my aspirations, passing calculated statements while I'm grabbing my flame. Wasted in the basement, pacing, placing words on pages, blazing my merch to the face. I'm blowing life in the air. I sold my soul to the Lord for a price of a prayer. Yeah, so my nights can be clear when I sit still, writing his will in his likeness, like him, cause I'm knowing he'll save me. He told me to spit and don't let the devil take the gifts that he gave me. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah. It's not a song, I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on. If you just rotate with me, yeah. We can chop it up, get our profits up, get this dust. If you just rotate with me, yeah. It's not a song, I'm trying to put you on to what I'm on. If you just rotate with me.
Dame Lillard, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
Hey, this is Jason Kidd, and we're rocking with the Bigs.
I'm Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
This is Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks. You're rocking with the Bigs.
WIIFTBPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
What up? What's happening, everybody? Hope everybody's enjoying their Wednesday. It is officially time to jump back down on the soil with the Bigs. I'm your man T. Tomlin, coming to you as usual with my player partner Eugene McIntosh.
What's the drawings, Brenoski?
It is all good, man. Feeling breezy again. Another beautiful day. I feel like it's here to stay.
Yeah, it's gonna snow Sunday.
Anyway, on that, but of course though, right? It wouldn't be Chicago weather if we didn't get one more piece of it. But anyway, man, I'm happy to be back at the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. Shout out to the producer, Ron, for holding us down, and definitely shout out to everybody that's tuning in.
Ron Rilla, what's good, Joe?
What's going on, my people? How y'all doing today?
It's all good, bro.
Man, I need to get some of that sun out there, man.
Hurry up and get up out of here, Ron. Enjoy it while you can.
Nah, I'm going to miss it.
You out at 6 again?
Yep.
Yeah, you'll probably get maybe a good 15 to 20 minutes.
You know what? It was like 60 until like 9:30 yesterday, Ron. So
it was decent yesterday.
Yeah, it was real nice.
I caught some of that.
It was real nice. So, Gino.
I'm saying it's like 63 right now. I came out like, man, Joe.
Exactly. I ain't even pulled a coat out. I'm like, I'm going to just rock the hoodie today. So.
I told you, when I see the multitude in front of the liquor store, that lets me know what time it is, man. So it's all good.
Gino, I'm getting more and more excited for baseball season. Before I headed out the crib today, I ran across a couple of tweets from Tim Anderson, and I feel like even though you never really know who he's talking to or about in his tweets, you always know he's talking about. The last one, before I left, he said, "Why would I change something about me that they don't like?" And he put "they" in all caps. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a bar in the music he's listening to these days. Or
that's something. That's something.
It's some habits related.
Personal.
Yeah, it's something personal. And I feel like, I hope it's not what I think it is. You know what I mean? I hope that
Tony La Russa.
Come on, I hope that in spring training that they don't have, that they're not trying to put their hands on Tim Anderson's will. You feel me? Like
That's not the smart thing.
No, it's not the smart thing to do, because I feel like even in spring training, you hear the evolution and the changes and differences in his approach every year. He's a more fierce leader right now. Like he has that taste of losing in the playoffs, maybe feeling like they should have advanced. Like now he got a chip on his shoulder for real.
And I think with everything that's going on in the world and him and the black voice, being able to be more resourceful and being able to be more outspoken and being able to be just more forward with your thinking and, publicly.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think Tim. I don't think Tim was ever afraid to be himself. I mean, we know how it is.
That was clear early.
We know how it is being a black
baseball
athlete, but let alone a black baseball player. Mm-hmm. When the majority is them, like he said, they, and you kind of have to hide in your shell. We saw guys like, Barry Bonds was a special case because his dad, Willie Mays and those guys, that was a whole different era. So we know what they went through. So but when we start with like Ken Griffey Jr., obviously his dad. Mm-hmm. So those were different guys. But when you look now and you see guys like Tim Anderson, or you see a guy like Jason Hayward, who I think they're on opposite ends of the spectrum as far as the voice is concerned, but they both will speak their minds. I feel like Jay Hay, he's more seasoned. He's more professional. Not professional, but just
he has more experience on the major league level dealing with
that
scrutiny.
Then having,
because remember early in Jay Hay's career, they painted him as the angry black dude.
Oh yeah,
and he's my age. Like he was young. He was like what,
21? Yeah, he was. I don't even think he got his 1100 ABs in the
let
minors.
Me tell you something. If I was in front of the spotlight at 21, y'all would have thought I was the angry, always mad black dude too. Come on.
But especially, and a lot of people don't know, Jay Hay was friends with Hammer and Hank.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to tap into Hank Aaron's soul and, embodying some of the things that Hank Aaron had to go through coming up, and it's like, just be aware. Things have progressed. Maybe not. I'll let you be the judge of that. But not you, but Hank Aaron talking to Jay, hey, I'll let you be the judge of that. But just always beware of your surroundings, who you are in this game, what you mean to the game. You're like you're one of us. Like I'm passing the torch. So
I feel like Jay Hay does that with younger black baseball players. 100%. He plays that role.
And I feel like a guy like Tim Anderson, and we don't know what kind of relationship he may have with Jay Hay or some other guys around the league who've been around the block a couple times, and now they like, look, bro, do you? We need you to do you. Don't be apologetic. Do you? And especially the way Tim has grown yearly as a player, like performance-wise. Now they said he was the number 10 shortstop in baseball.
Another chip on his shoulder.
I would disagree with that. I would definitely put him higher. Top 5, 10, number 10, no. He's got to be at least 6, 7.
He's knocking
at the lowest 8th. Yeah, definitely not. If you think he's top 5, I'm not disagreeing, but I would put him 5, at least 5 through 8. 10, that's disrespectful. So back to Tim though. I see, and this is where we come in, because I feel like you being on the Sox beat and having a relationship with Tim, I feel like you could pry that out of him without even having to go there with him.
Well, first I have to know when he's available. Which for some reason, the White Sox have had an issue with when I get my email is filled with media availabilities from the Cubs. But yeah, I feel like that's another thing that I feel like is not exclusive to the White Sox, but I feel like teams in general feel like they have to control too much. You know what I mean? And some teams feel like they have to control the media as well as the
we
player.
know that.
You know what I mean? And then some organizations are a little bit more laid back. They know, you know what I mean, what it is. But the White Sox are still kind of dragging their feet.
You think so?
I do think that.
Well,
bro.
You should know.
That's what I'm saying. I totally think that. And as a guy that does have a relationship with Tim, you know what I mean, I understand his approach to the media. You know what I mean? It's like, look, I'm already walking the thin line, and I'm already pushing the envelope with my words. You know what I mean? Let me live in this space. And the White Sox got to protect him as much as they feel like they can.
So Kenneth Steele said it's probably from his drunk-ass manager. Do you think that they was at they is Tony La Russa or they is Major League Baseball? What do you think?
I feel like they is Major League Baseball. I mean, Tim is still the topic of conversation or one of the first names you think of when you think of somebody that's pushing the envelope. And it's still a white man's game, and with old white traditional values. And Tim is busting through all of that with a smile on his face. He's always going to rub somebody the wrong way. When it comes to his manager, as you said, Gino, it's somebody that has been been on the Zooms and everything. I have to say, Tony La Russa sounds like a big Tim Anderson fan. Like, he sounds like us when he gets asked about Tim. He's like, you know what? He made a play today. I was like, oh my God. You know what I mean? And his approach to the game and practice, I feel like Tony La Russa is becoming a big fan of. Now, did you hear that interview where he came? I think he cursed on 670 to score.
Tim Anderson, when he said, I saw the quote.
Yeah, he told him, he said, I don't want to, people get real offended when I say that we're the best team in the American League. So I should say, we have a chance to be the best team in the American League. And he got pressed on it, like, don't change. He's like, you know what, F it, we the best team. You know
we the best effing team.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay, I wonder how that was received by his manager or coaches or teammates. You know what type? I mean? Bro. Because I feel like one of the underlying kind of back and forths that we kind of saw peek his head out is Dallas Keuchel's approach versus the rest of the team's approach.
And what's Dallas Keuchel's? Was this last season?
Yeah, this is in the playoffs last season. Dallas Keuchel took an L, but it was like after the season, he was like, he noticed guys were kind of lackadaisical.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And coming from Dallas Keuchel, the only cat that's won anything.
Right.
That held some weight. Now, Tim Anderson commented on an Instagram post with that quote, like, stop, y'all got to stop interviewing White Sox players. He said that on an Instagram post underneath the Dallas Keuchel quote.
Really?
Uh-huh. And it kind of sounded like unjust, but even still. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I'm wondering how that was received in a clubhouse that's trying to tighten things up.
And that's what, remember when that was my whole thing with the Sox last year, and that was one of the reasons I feel like Jerry Reinsdorf, outside of owing Tony La Russa a favor from firing him back in the day, I feel like that was
my bad.
My bad, Joe. I got you for your last run, maybe a couple years, but I feel like the White Sox needed some tightening up. And again, we talk about baseball.
I can't front. You're right. It
was no way that you start the season the way they did, pick up the momentum for the rest of the season, and then the last week and a half, you look like the worst team in baseball.
And then lose
to the A's the first round of the games of the series. So I just think that, and I feel Dallas Keuchel on that because, like you said, he's the only guy in that clubhouse with some hardware. Mm-hmm. So his words, they have to mean something. Now, as far as Tim's comment about us being the best effing team in the American League, I want my best player to put us on Front Street, if that's what it is. If you feel like we don't deserve, if Dallas Keuchel is saying we don't, from what you're saying, you wonder how maybe the team itself,
exactly.
But if you're looking at Dallas Keuchel, we just take him for example, and if we're thinking about him, the guy who said what he said, and it's like, well, we don't deserve those comments. We haven't shown anything. We didn't have what
they ended up, like you said, they held the top spot in the division for most of
the
season. They ended up just getting one of those extra playoff spots.
Right. So I understand where Dallas Keuchel is coming from, but I also understand where Tim is coming from.
They were the first team to clinch.
Right.
And then ended up getting the
last spot.
In the
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm a Tim Anderson's teammate, I'm with that. Mm-hmm. Now we got to go out and show and prove.
I just feel like Tim Anderson is not the problem. Any way you slice it, he is the answer to a lot of the White Sox problems.
No doubt.
A problem that they have, though, and we don't have to stay on it too long, but Gino, you was on my back last season about Eloy. Did you see him run into
him and Luis Robert?
Man, bruh. I mean, luckily nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody came out unscathed.
Eloy just needs to be a DH.
I don't see how you can argue with that. Even just after that play alone, it's like if you haven't learned that you let your center fielder get that Eloy, why don't even put him out there anymore? Because now you're risking his health and Luis's health.
Right.
Yeah, and you cannot do that.
And this is a guy who we saw. He won a Gold Glove, didn't he?
Yes.
Center field. So
yeah,
this
this
guy
made it look so easy.
This guy can go alley to alley with no issue.
He is your friend. Let him do something.
Let him do something.
Let him do that work.
So now here we have an issue. Who's the left fielder then? Because I still think the White Sox need an everyday right fielder.
They've been seesawing between Adam Eaton and Adam Engel. And no. You know what I mean? I don't know if you put one of those guys in left. You know what I mean? I'm thinking Lurie Garcia. Or, you know what I mean?
Wasn't Leoria, who was the second baseman?
Nick Madrigal.
So is Nick, Nick is the every.
Nick is
every day?
First time. He's everyday second baseman.
Wow.
Yeah, he held that down. Even though he didn't have the power, I think he hit like 315.
What year was he drafted?
I think he was drafted like a year after Tim. He was drafted like a year after Tim, and
so he got his 1100 in the minors.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He was one of those.
So
dudes
he's ready.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I feel like he came down and showed he was ready. I didn't really have no big issue.
Okay.
With Nick Madrigal, but he's definitely one of the guys that has a lot of expectations on him coming into this season.
Okay.
But you're right about right field, and if Eloy's not in left, then you do have some questions. Vaughn, the rookie that I feel like
What's his first name?
I want to say Mo, but I know that's wrong. You know what I mean?
Definitely wrong.
But you know, anytime I hear Vaughn, that's where I'm going. Let me pull up my phone.
I got you.
But he's going to be in the
Sox
equation.
fans out there, before I pull it up, I see a couple Sox fans out there. We asked Vaughn.
You just got to charge it.
Andrew Vaughn.
Okay. And then, of course, you got Jose Abreu at first base, who's going to be seesawing.
And Vaughn is a first baseman,
exactly. Right? And he's going to give you some leeway with Jose Abreu to be a DH. Yasmani can also play first base and
Man,
DH.
what's up with Yasmani, bro? Is he gonna make it through another year?
Oh yeah, he's the everyday catcher. Yeah, I mean, right now he's the everyday catcher.
Is he gonna hold up? I've heard he's having issues. You know,
they got Jonathan Lucroy back there.
Okay,
who they brought over.
Didn't the Cubs have Lucroy?
I think he did play over there for a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's a decent backup.
Yeah, so I feel like with him, you have to have a solid backup, but you got to be open to moving Yasmani around because his bat is nice. You know what I mean? He can play DH. He can play first base. You got some versatility there.
But it would be wicked if it was the Chris Bryant combo where you can move Chris Bryant from third to the outfield.
And you know, that's what I thought. I was like, who's at third?
Right.
Our boy, the singer.
Yohan.
Yeah, Yohan.
No problems.
No way.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like there's that mashup when you say Andrew Vaughn, Jose Abreu, Yasmani, Eloy.
What about Tim? Yeah, I mean,
I don't think
they played with moving Tim out into the outfield. You know,
if Tim is not moving off a shortstop,
no, I can't see that. But I feel like he's a candidate. You know what I mean? It's like push come to shove, injuries. You know what I mean? Regarding any injury, you're a candidate to move in the outfield.
Zach Collins.
I don't know if Zach Collins is there anymore.
That's what Kev said.
Let me see.
The Cushman, he said Zach Collins is there too, whatever that means.
Yeah, I feel like Zach Collins he's kind of out of my radar.
Okay.
Because he's been tested and it's like, yeah, we're past that. We know what you give us, but
Chris said, why didn't the Sox pay McCann?
Well, because James McCann was going to cash out something serious and be a starter.
Where is he now?
I think he's with the Mets.
Okay, that's smart.
You know what I mean? And you let him do his thing. You know what I mean? Yes, I feel like you had a great point with the relationship that he had with Lucas.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like Lucas Giolito is in a position to step his game up. The couple of times we've seen Lucas in the spring, doesn't look like he's going to be missing James McCann too much, and I'm happy to see that, you know?
Let me see. I saw my girl Teresa. She had a question. Let me see. Teresa says, Eugene, my question is, what do you think of the Cubs so far in the spring? Terrence, I asked you the same about the Sox. Are you concerned that they're not having a good spring so far? Man, as far as the Cubs, T, I've been in and out. You know, it's me and T, we trying to do a lot. We trying to get things together with the big so we can, you know, continue to push forward. But we have been, you know, keeping our ear to the soil, keeping our ear to the street. And I've been watching the Cubs so far. And spring training isn't that
about
important.
Wins and
Yeah,
losses
it's not. It's about getting guys ramped up. It's about making sure all the guys are healthy for this 162. I see the Sox haven't been scoring a lot of runs early in the spring. I'm not worried about that. Once the season starts and they start going,
I feel like
that's going to be the least of their worries.
One at bat.
Yeah,
I mean?
and that's the main thing. It's like you get one at bat, then you go on about your business. So this is more about, and the Cubs are like 6-2 right now, and who cares? The season starts April 1st. It's all about health. It's all about ramping guys up. It's all about getting the starting rotation together. As far as the Cubs are concerned, you know, it's all about. Now it's Kyle Hendricks' team. He's a great ace to have. And it's all about that second and third starter. Because when Zach Davies is going, Zach Davies is really, really good.
Okay.
Then it's about Jake Arrieta. Obviously, it's not going to be the 96, 97, 98 Jake. It'll be the 92, 93, 94 Jake, but it'll be a more seasoned Jake. Where, you know, a smarter Jake where it's all about hitting the spots. It's all about painting the zone. It's not about getting up there, you know, in velocity. So I'm just interested to see where they fall. Again, a guy like Trevor Williams, I'm interested to see where he falls. And then who's going to be that fifth starter? I think Adbert Alzolay is probably in the running to be that fifth starter. But, you know, last year we saw Alec Mills have some good outings. And, again, we're talking about it. That's 5 righties. There's not a lefty in sight. So, hey, we got some work to do. It's still early in the spring training, and like I said, I'm not worried on either side.
I feel like the Cubs are in a position where the offense is going to have to find a way to carry them. You know, and when you throw out the names, it's possible. You know what I mean? It's not an impossible task when you're talking about Rizzo, Chris Bryant, Willis Contreras, and Javi Baez in your lineup. But I feel like my worries are there. You know what I mean? It's on the north side. Let's jump into the break real quick, and I'll go ahead and I'll address whatever worries I have on the south side, and then we can move on to a little something else. I'm wondering what you got for me today, Gino. But we'll be right back here on the soil.
WIFTBPM WIIFTBP Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP Media's just for you and me.
Well, Angela Oya Fumike. As you know, this is I Do, I Did, I Don't on the What's in It for the Black People media. Start our way into this journey of divorce and healing. So we came together under a survival mentality, not under a friendship of being in love. First being friends and then being in love or growing in love. We came together under, we're trying to survive, we're 2 kids trying to survive. Okay, we're going to survive together, because if you're handling this end of the survival and I'm handling this end, years that you've accepted this is what it's been, and now you've made this decision. And he wasn't there. He wasn't even seeing that you were done. Here's what it was. Just like I ignored on the front end that he didn't love me like that, he was so disconnected from me by the point when I decided to leave that he didn't see the writing on the wall. Wow. He just didn't see it. But he didn't know that woman because he never took the time to meet her. Mm-hmm. And so you created your plan And that's key, I think, in having a plan. If you are going to, whether you're deciding together that this isn't going to work any longer and we're splitting, and having a plan on how you're going to move forward is pretty key. You knew at this point I had to create your own plan, and you were moving forward with that. In my case, I didn't have a plan. Things happened pretty abruptly, and I was creating a plan on the fly along the way. I don't recommend that. You forgive yourself. You do the work of forgiving yourself that you may be able to actually forgive others.
My brothers and sisters. My brothers and sisters. Yeah, no bullshit at the pulpit with questions for the reverend, like why I gotta die to go to heaven, or are these lies and deception a sign of what's next, to deny my progression to my soul through my spirit from my mind and my flesh. You be hard pressed to alter my perspective. It's reflective of my perception. All the lives and the tribes that's affected, dying quick, effects from environments neglected, disconnected, disrespected. This the same section we never invest in. Our own sales from our own shells, become owners on our own. They get on with our own help. Yeah, creators of our own world. Communicate, we accumulated our own wealth. Created in this image, so when I say it, I meant it. Do the science for yourself. My brothers and sisters, we ain't niggas and bitches. My brothers and sisters, we ain't niggas and bitches. Can you dig that though? And I put this on my mama, Black Madonna, Mother Earth, Mother Africa. I'm honored to be a part of where it started, selling Starburn through the stardust on my starship. My heartbeat is godly. I'm the light harness from the darkest part of darkness. Such a godsend. I'll teach my son to treat your daughter like a goddess. I teach my daughter to treat your son like a god king. I can never deny my fate. My melanated skin tells my story every day. Fortunately, my fortune awaits. Majority of the world, minority in the States. Yeah, we blossom from the concrete. The world copies what they see, then mocks my mystique. The possibilities impossible to see. The ways a Western man can match the prophets of the East. My brothers and sisters, we ain't niggas and bitches. My brothers and sisters, we ain't niggas and bitches. Young brother, young king, you're a genius. Young sister, young queen, supreme beings. All you have to do is believe it. All you gotta do is believe it. Young brother, young king, you're a genius. Young sister, young queen, supreme beings. All you gotta do is believe it.
Y'all niggas, and you gon' be niggas forever, just like us, niggas.
We are back on the soil. Gino.
Yes, sir.
Talking baseball here, man. It's just around the corner, April 1st.
Be here before you know it.
The White Sox will be out in Oakland, and the Cubs will be here at Wrigley.
They kick it off in Oakland.
They kick it off in Oakland at 9:05 p.m. It's gonna a nightcap to kick it off. Those are always some of my favorite trips, especially as a shorty. Got to stay up a little bit later and watch some baseball, so that was always right up my alley.
Yeah.
But man, before the break, we were talking about our worries, man, and you've been on point with the Cubs. The offense is going to have to do some things. When I look at the White Sox, I feel like they've done a good job at building. And I feel like with that, the worry is always going to be, are these guys going to pan out? I mean, you look at the additions that they have this year. Yeah, they got a couple of free agents, but it's still about some of their in-house talent, some of their homegrown talent coming to the stage and showing improvement, man. At the top of that list is Michael Kopech. Made his debut a couple of seasons ago, ended up getting hurt and having to have Tommy John surgery, and then sat out last season. He opted out personally out of the COVID year.
Or was it because of COVID?
That was the mask of the situation.
Right.
That was what you could say, and nobody could question it.
Right,
so
right.
that if you were going to sit out for any other reason, you had a perfect opportunity.
Yeah, because
last season.
Yeah,
you look at his personal life. He's been in the TMZ tabloids. But if you saw him pitch, and the couple of times that he did for the White Sox, you should be very excited about this cat who was hitting triple digits on the radar gun with nasty movement on his other pitches.
It's always a plus.
He is one of those talents that if he does come and live up to expectations, you're talking about a top arm in your rotation, possibly a 1 or 2 or 3 guy in your rotation. And right now, Kopech is kind of looking at the 5th spot. So if all goes well, that's a great situation for Michael Kopech to come in.
Giolito,
Keuchel, and then you got Ronaldo Lopez. Rodon is still in there.
What about Lance Lynn?
Lynn comes out. He's the closer, right? He's coming out of the pen.
No, I thought that was Buddy from Oakland.
Yeah, I'm messing up the name.
Lance Lynn is big
the
guy.
Starter.
Yeah.
So he's your third arm.
Right.
What's the cat's name?
From Oakland?
That we just got out of the pen.
I don't know. But, yeah, he's the closer.
Yeah, Lance Lynn is coming third. And then you got a bunch of guys that could shore up the rest of your rotation. Rodon is back. Ronaldo Lopez has looked good this year.
Has he?
Oh, yeah.
Because he was the one I was kind of iffy about last year. It's like he would have good stuff, then the next outing it would be like 6 walks and 2. It's just like.
It was rough. And he's one of the guys I feel like was affected by the shortened season.
Okay.
And you just had to make decisions on him last year because you were a playoff team. Coming back with a full 162, he's a cat that still shows you that he can be in that 4th or 5th spot. You know what I mean? And give you, 4 or 5 innings. So, I mean, I'm looking at guys like on offense, Yohan Moncada. He was slow with COVID last year, but he dropped the song, and he's got me excited for the season because I can already hear that song being played every time he goes deep. So, and then again, like Kopech, if Yohan Moncada, comes in and excels, you're talking about the best player on your team. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not too worried about the White Sox. It's kind of what I feel like. I feel like they've turned a corner, and if these guys come out, they're going to be good. My worry is the extra stuff. Can these guys keep it clean in the locker room? Is the chemistry still at a point where these guys mess with each other the way that they have?
I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, Tony La Russa is really the only new face, which is probably the biggest. If you were to add anybody, a new manager is probably the biggest new face in the clubhouse. So what Tony La Russa would be.
So you're more worried about the maturity of the team.
That's it. And I feel like having a year under their belt, going through what they went through in Oakland, that first series, because I'm pretty sure they thought they were going to win that series because we all knew and thought they should have as well. So just cleaning some things up. Maybe Dallas Keuchel had a talk. Maybe him and Tim chopped it up, one-on-one. Maybe they had a team meeting of what – I'm sure they've had team meetings about goals and what they expect out of each other. But I'm with you. I'm not really worried about, them offensively. The pitching, like you said, if Michael Kopech is the 5th leg of your starting rotation, then that definitely bodes well. I just think that they need to shore up left field. They still need an everyday right field. I'm not sure what they want to do with Eloy, but like you said, if you watched that game the other day and you saw Luis Robert and Eloy looking like
left
bloopers and blunders.
And, until further notice. Left field is definitely Eloy's until further notice.
Well, it's imperative that, you know, they get off to a good start. It's similar to like what the Cubs did last year. And like you said, it's just a small sample size because of 60 games. But, you know, the Cubs, they got off to such a hot start last year that, and the shout out to Gardis. Liam Hendricks is your closer.
Yes.
But similar to what the Cubs did last year, they got off to such a hot start that, you know, when they fell off a couple times during the season, they were able to maintain because they got off to such a hot start. They were so many games ahead, losing 2 or 3 here. You know, in 162, in 60, a 2 to 3 game losing streak is equivalent to a 162 to like a 5 to 6 game losing streak. So they were able to hold off and still be right there at the end. You know, even though they didn't have that much of a good season. So as far as the Cubs are concerned, like Teresa said, she said, I know it's spring and it's just work, but I'm impressed with outings from potential rotation arms. Kimbrel concerns me, though. The offense is scoring runs. We need to fix Kimbrel because I don't trust him as a closer. And the offense carry over once the season starts.
It's crazy that Kimbrel is still in the fold. He's been so disappointing. You know what I mean? He was supposed to be the arm that saved him in 2017-18.
No, last year.
When 2018 was his first year with the Cubs.
19.
Yeah. What was it? Injury and just trying to get back.
Yeah, he was sitting on the couch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they brought him in off the couch just because of his track record. That was production over projection.
So what are you thinking about him? Because from the outside looking in, I'm like, why are we even giving Kimbrel another chance?
Because they signed him for 3 years and 40 million, 50 million, whatever they signed him for. So this is the last year.
You're looking for him to be the Tyler Chatwood kind of bounce back.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and more so than anything, it was interesting when we talked to Rossi and Tommy Hotovy and those guys, and they talked about, you know, this pitching lab.
Mm-hmm.
And they went and basically broke Craig Kimbrel down to pieces.
I peeped that.
And basically rebuilt everything about him. You know, they broke down what was wrong and what they needed to fix and how they needed to fix it.
Didn't they do that with Chris Bryant?
But but the pitching lab is different than Chris Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chris Bryant, that's a different case. He was a guy who, like you said, he had been hurt over the years, knick-knack injuries, changed stuff. Remember, always talk about the Colorado trip when he got beamed in the face.
Mm-hmm.
I think that took a lot out of him. Even just his approach, you could tell he was standing farther back in the plate. He was standing further away from the plate. Just a lot of things look different about Chris Bryant. So he says that he's finally back to where he feels like he should be, and he feels like he can get back to the elite level that he's been playing at. But with Craig Kimbrel, you know, breaking down, you know, the sabermetrics and the science are top notch now. They lean on that more than anything. So being able to break him down to a T and build him back up, looking at his release point, adding new spin to the ball. He did come on. He had some pretty good outings later in the season. The offense just wasn't there for the Cubs when they needed it to be. So if he can, Jeremy Jeffress is gone. So Rowan Wick,
he ate up a lot of innings last year.
He did. And he got a great season. But obviously it's going to be between Rowan Wick, who started late, so I'm not sure where he's going to be when the season starts. So it's going to be Craig Kimbrel. So if
now that's interesting. Like, he's definitely gonna have the opportunity.
Yes,
man.
yes.
Wow.
And he's this is a guy whose track record speaks volumes. He's he was on the pace to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So again, I'm not really worried about Craig Kimbrel. If he can regain something. You know, his fastball got back up to 98, 99, which was great. You know, the curveball was good. He left it out over the plate a lot, and it ended up in the seats. But, hey, it is what it is, man. Like, at this point, it is what it is. So
I got a question for you with both teams in mind, because we haven't talked about David Ross. What side of town has the best manager situation? Is it the White Sox with the old, experienced, legendary manager in Tony La Russa, or is it David Ross, who's been one of the guys since forever, and is going into his second season as a manager? Who would you take?
Well, and it's funny because I really think I would say they're equal, because when you look at the makeup of both teams, the White Sox, they've got the manager that they need, whether it's Tony La Russa or if it's a guy like what's our boy that retired from the Giants?
Bodie.
What was
Bruce?
Bruce Bochy. That
Bochy.
Type of manager.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
a seasoned vet, a guy who's been there, done that, and he can put the structure into a young team who's primed to look like they could make a run at a couple championships, versus the Cubs, who've got basically the last of a core of a team who were primed to look like they were going to run off 2 or 3 championships in a 5 to 6 year span. So I think I would say they're equal. I like David Ross. I like who he is for that team, having those prior relationships with a lot of those guys, still being not too far removed from the game, still being able to, you know, a guy like Wilson Contreras still being able to contribute to Willie's, you know, everyday catching. If Willie needs some tricks or some extra questions, he can go to Rossi. Rossi's, you know, did a long stint in the league. So I would say they're equal, man. But I'm looking forward to what Tony La Russa adds to that White Sox team. We'll be able, maybe not from the jump, but 50, 60, 70 games
by June.
Yeah, you'll be able to see the effect that Tony La Russa has on those guys, positive or negative.
I'm hoping it's a positive one, man. And on the other end of the spectrum, I'm trying to find reasons to be excited about the Cubs, man. Of course, I feel like the level of excitement just in talking about them has kind of been toned down a little bit, man. Theo's not there.
No more Theo.
And I feel like that alone it means something. It's is this going to be the same Cubs? Like, is Jed's Cubs team going to be a winner? Because from the jump, the tone was set. And I know Theo doesn't go on the dirt. He doesn't put on uniform. He doesn't hit anything. But he set the tone from day one about what kind of team this is going to be and what kind of team he wanted it to be. I'm still not sure what kind of team Jed wants this to be. I know what he said, but it hasn't yet matched up 100% to what they've been doing. You know what I mean? They opened up the checkbook, and it's been some big names out there, some decent names out there that have signed. The Cardinals just made another signing. You know what I mean? I think they grabbed a pitcher or something, didn't they?
Okay, I didn't see that.
I feel like it's other teams making moves. Or the Brewers.
Okay.
The Brewers made a couple moves, and I'm like, why didn't the Cubs do it? You know what I mean? But by June, like you said, it's like just with the White Sox, by June, I think that a lot of the Cubs' questions will be answered.
And, I mean, and this is facts. By the trade deadline, if them guys ain't in first place, it could be a lot of furniture moving going on around that place.
Don't do it, man. And as a fan, that's what I don't want to see. You know what I mean? I totally would hate to see, you know what I mean, the final nail in the coffin of these guys. I'm totally hoping that they exceed expectations, that they show that this core is all you need. You know what I mean? As long as you keep this core together, they've snipped everybody that you could possibly snip without touching the core. You know what I mean?
But don't forget that this is a lot of these guys' walk years, too. So they can't bring everybody back. Javi, Willie, KB, Riz.
Now, why not? Because it ain't no cap.
It's not, but we know.
Pay them people.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
So look at this. So Randy Spann says the Cubs should let Baez go and bring up Ed Howard.
And is that not why Ed is there? I mean, but Javi can play second. Yeah.
But Ed hasn't played a lick of anything.
Well, see, now that makes what's going on with the minor leagues.
We don't know yet.
Because you know what may happen with the minor leagues? May not be no minor leagues for the next couple seasons.
And you saw what they did to the minor leagues. They basically shrunk it.
Yeah, and they was like, you want to be our minor league team?
Yeah.
You know, so And then I feel like when you look across the board at the last couple of drafts, these cats have been coming up instantly. Like Garrett Crochet, the number one, the White Sox picked the year they drafted Ed Howard, has been doing his thing in the spring. Like he's totally gonna be part of that bullpen.
And the word on Ed, I might do a piece or something on it, but the word on Ed is that he's definitely exceeded expectations. He's definitely so much further ahead than people thought he would be right now, with no minor league baseball. So I don't think he's ready for the big league, for the show, to be an everyday player.
And baseball is one of those sports where if you come up too early,
you can't skip. We talk about skipping steps. You can't do that. I feel like Nico Horner is the prime example of not skipping steps, but just not being missing a whole year of minor league ball. Yeah. So we talked about that. I think that's the only position that is up in the air for the Cubs right now. Second baseman is, Vargas, Bodie, Nico, and then they signed Eric Sogard. So it's a mashup right there.
Okay.
But if it was me, I would give David Bodie the benefit of the doubt. I would give David Bodie the everyday second baseman job to show me. We signed this guy 2 years ago, 5 years, $15 million, locked him in. Now it's time for you to show us that you're an everyday second baseman. You've been a great utility guy, been great off the bench in pinch hit situations. Now it's your turn to show us that you can be our everyday second baseman. While we send Nico to the alternate spot, if they do have minor league baseball, we can send Nico to AAA. He can get his 500 ABs because he needs to play every day. Whether it's in the league, just throwing him in the fire,
he definitely
he needs to play every day.
And even though he definitely looks like he has a knack for the game,
he does.
You still got to. It's more than that.
Yeah,
So
it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. Like we said, we see his body. Looks like he did a lot in the offseason. He was, I think he stuck around. He didn't go back home to Oakland in the offseason. He stuck around here. Him, Jay Hay, Ed Howard, they were all up at Wrigley, up in the facilities getting work in. So that was good to see. And
from a big picture perspective, do you think the White Sox are at a point where you're completely expecting them to be better than the Cubs this year? Like, is it at a point where the White Sox are going to end with a better record. They'll be in a better position in the season. Is that what we are?
Projection-wise, yes. But, again, when you look at the roster itself, when I see Baez, Rizzo, Contreras, Bryant, I don't know of 2, 3, 4, and 5 better than that in the league when they're at their heights. But projection-wise, definitely the White Sox should definitely finish. No doubt they should win the AL Central.
Okay.
I still think the Cubs should win the NL Central, but I do think
they got some comp.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. But I think projection-wise, yes, the Sox should definitely finish with a much better record than at least 9, maybe 10. The Sox should win 95 games. No problem.
We may have to put some bets out there. We may have to pit the fan bases against each other. Can we get some bets going or something? Like who finishes with a better record? I feel like that's always the bet in my group chat with my bro. You know what I mean? And a couple of years ago, it was like tongue in cheek. The White Sox are going, but now I'm like, okay, you sure you want to take that bet, bro?
Yeah, you can win. You can win the NL Central with 85 to 86 wins. You're not winning the AL Central with 86 wins.
Side note, I feel like if it was one cat in Chicago sports that I would love to jump down on the soil. You know who it is, Joe? Chris Bryant, bro. I would love for Chris Bryant to jump down on the soil and have the realest conversation that he's had in his career. Like, he's had moments where he's had the opportunity to keep it real with the media, but he needs to come down on the soil and really have that conversation. I feel like he's at a point in his career where he would be a great, great interview. Yeah, so
looks like I got some work to do there.
Come on, KB. Come on.
KB, man.
Guys, we got the drop a few years ago.
And it was nothing.
You rock with the bigs, we know.
Yeah, looks like I got some work to do, man. Let's get that cracking, man.
Yes, sir.
We had our 2 o'clock break.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Ron Rilla, take us to break, man. We come back on the other side. Look, man, we we had so much fun with P-Mac on Monday. We didn't even talk about the All-Star weekend or Sunday or.
I'm snoring over here, fam.
Wow.
I can't even remember what happened. It was a murder, wasn't it? LeBron's team killed them cats. We can talk about it.
Yeah, let's get into a couple things when we come back. You on the soil with the bigs.
WIIFTBPM. Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Let me ask a question. Do either that son or your grandson smell like transmission fluid? We trying to find Ruthie a husband. You funny ladies.
Trying to find Ruthie a husband?
We trying to find Ruthie a husband. You heard that good, let me ask you, Rogers, what does Ruthie need to do to find her husband?
I listen to her little voice. I like that little passing voice she got.
Hey, she say...
I know you kind of small, ain't you?
She said you got a pension?
Huh?
She said you got a pension?
Look here. I'm coming down to the... Where you on station located at? Where y'all located?
We down here in Bronzeville. Look, this is what we gonna do. We gonna get you, we gonna do a love connection off the line. Rogers, I want to tell you, man, thank you so much for calling.
You all downtown somewhere?
Yeah, we downtown. I'm gonna put
y'all talking about it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get the address. I'm gonna come into y'all station one morning.
We gonna have you come down. We gonna have you and Ruthie, and we gonna have you sit
I'm
right
an early bird anyway.
Ruthie, you can be the grandmama, the great grandmama of over 110 children. I love big families. You know what I'm saying? 110.
Yes, sir, this goes out to you. Y'all niggas ain't know nothing. Huffer than that stuff you stuff until you blunt, then front like you on something. Gone young and this is grown man flow. Bust it like chrome thumpers that crush your bones in the dust dummy. I'm on something. Between the nonsense and gossiping, all y'all gon' honor Mick and stare in astonishment. Cause the only consequence is unconsciousness. Competition is none. I am it, the one like point guards calling plays. Put your ones up while you wondering what's under my sleeve. Now see, the only thing you need to know about me is that he is in a dough like house keys. I silence all the liars with the lies they spit. I had to remind these kids what time it is. These lines I'm rhyming is like nines with little red lines lined up like rhyming when you're lining in. Budget, the label, the records, the spins, the DJs, the meetings, the greed, the ends, the life, the love, the price to win. Cause these motherfuckers wanna keep me down. Yeah, it's no mistaking, you phony face it. You bogus, hating, overrated, knowing my name all over the place, lame. So you try to chase my whole fame away. I changed the game, I don't play with jokers, this my poker face, okay? Niggas talk how tough they is, not knowing who they fucking with. Till I muscle in and show these chumps what hustling is. It's just the beginning, I must admit. I don't spit the same huff these knuckleheads be mumbling, but instead I'm pumping substances. Let me plug you in. This is day one, this is where your functions in. Some of my bitches tryna pull a stunt like this. Young punk, I'm the business low key in the cut with my cup holding my nuts like shit. What damn? What's the business? Get your weight up, Vic. Before I bitch press the index, I shake up with the budget, the label, the records, the spins, the DJs, the meetings, the greed, the ends, the life, the love, the price to win. Cause these motherfuckers wanna keep me down. Yeah, look, I face the odds by the grace of God, starving days apart just to make my mark in this game full of lame snakes, fakes, and sharks, and these hating marks that break on the day I fall. Nah, I toast to y'all while I drink this dark and flame this jar that keeps me sane and takes away my scars. I'm what the game's been missing, a needed change while they seek fame with fiction. McAngelo paint pictures, yes sir, now you reach the ceiling. Angelic with the flow like I was christened by Christ himself. Truth be told, all y'all foolios in the studio like your music cold, you must be tooting blows. I be laughing, passing, grab,
asking who it's on, cause I'm super blowed off that fruity troll. I was high off a line of that SC. Shout out to S, man. S just called me, too.
Sir.
S, I called you back, man. Reese, if you watching, tell S he on some bull, man. I called S back. SC is the producer of the track. SC is one of the best producers of all time, especially in Chicago. He done produced for Diddy, Mobb Deep, Shine, Bump J, Lupe Fiasco, Mick, countless. The Game on the documentary, the 5 times platinum album. S been around the world and back, man. Used to hold it down at Jay-Z's old studio, Baseline Studios, with I think Just Blaze owned it. But it was OG Juan and Jay-Z's studio where they first, all the State Property and Beans and all them guys used to record.
Man, Joe, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Of course, I told you. I had that conversation with S, and I'm saying, like, gee, I'm not worthy. Like, bless you, bro.
Yeah, and this is, hip-hop and sports, they intertwine. So we were having it. And before, matter of fact, let me go back. Before we continue on, man, got to drop the rules for the people, man.
The law of the land.
The law of the land, man. We need y'all to smash them like buttons, smash that share button, hit the comment section, join the conversation as you guys always do. Continue to help the brothers and the What's in It for the Black People Media Network. Push the culture and our content forward, man. It's all about ownership, owning the black voice, and there's more than ever now, man. We need to stop letting these other people, tell our narratives and put their own spin to it. Nobody can tell the story better than us. So continue to help us in whichever way you can. Monetary support, shares, likes, whatever you can do to help us. We more than appreciate it, man. But getting back to that, yeah, it was a talk about, like I told you guys a couple weeks ago about Oskino and his new, I forgot the name of the podcast that he has on YouTube. But he had Beanie Siegel on there. He had Freeway on there. He's had Beans on there. He had Dame on there a couple weeks ago. And some guys in one of the Facebook groups today, they had they pulled up some audio of Oskino talking about Jay-Z and, about the Nas beef and about Jay-Z stealing lines. And, people, it's always weird for me, man, because, people worship celebrities, and it's just weird to me. I understand it, but it's just, it'll never sit right with me. It's like, man, Hov ain't perfect, bro. Like,
I say a big verse, I'm only bigging up my brother.
I'm big enough to do it.
And again, I'm not tripping one. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But the facts are the facts. Like, Hov is known for, what, if you want to call them, stealing lines, borrowing lines, whatever you want to, recycling lines. Like you said, Hov has said it himself. Killer Cam called him a biter, not a writer. Nas said, how many rhymes have come out your fat lips. But now when Oskino and them, the guys who sat with Hov every day, say the same thing. Now they bitter, they hurt, they bums. just mad because he got to go back to the block. And it's like, well, first of all, guys, y'all don't know Oskino. You don't know Hov, but y'all don't know Oskino. Y'all don't know Beanie Siegel. Y'all don't know none of these people. So, again, I reserve some of my comments because I was there. I wasn't all the way there, but I was there. And then I'll tell them in the comments, I'm like, I could tag people in this discussion who were there every day. But I don't, that's not you guys' business. Though, you know my hashtag, those that know. So then Reese chimed in, and Reese was a part of it. So Reese was there, and I just said, man, I don't know too many of y'all in this comment section who have ever even been to Baseline. Mm-hmm. I have. Reese was in Baseline with Hov. SC was in Baseline every day with Just Blaze, Alchemist, Hov, Beanie Siegel, Young Guns, Freeway.
So what's the discrepancy though? Like people,
they just don't. They talking about Oskino is bitter because Hov whatever, and I'm like, no, he's not. He may be bitter, but he's telling the truth. He's not the first person to say this about Hov. But y'all so in love with Hov because he's a billionaire or whatever. He can't do no wrong. This is you got. That's y'all. This is your God, Jehovah. And I'm just like, hey, man, believe what you believe, but the facts are the facts. And I just left it there. Somebody in the comments tell me y'all been to Baseline, then we can talk. If you ain't never been to Baseline, I don't want to talk about it. End of story. So anyway, Have you watched the Hip Hop Uncovered documentary?
I haven't seen the latest installments.
So you said what? 1, 2?
Like the first 3. I saw all the way through Waka Flocka's mom's.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, everybody out there, it's a hip hop uncovered documentary on FX. It's really good, man. It's really good. They I think 1 and 2 kind of put it out there for you.
Yeah.
3 ropes you in when they start Haitian Jack.
Oh yeah.
Once they bring Jack in, that's when it becomes.
So did they do the Chicago installments yet?
It wasn't about Chicago though. It was just a quick. They were just a part of the discussion. It wasn't really nothing about Chicago. It was nobody from Chicago speaking or nothing. They just mentioned drill rap and how social media is so different and really sending these guys off.
Okay.
That's basically what that was about. But just the documentary itself, man, it was really good. It's Deb Antony, who is Waka Flocka's mom, who founded Nicki, Gucci, French Montana. She's been behind a lot of people. Big U, one of the Crips from L.A., big guy. I think Corrupt was it was another guy, LQ Smooth something, but that was the first guy who put him on. But he's known for Corrupt. He was plugged in with Suge back in the day before he got locked up. And then Nipsey, he was one of the big guys who helped Nipsey. Nip called him.
West Coast.
Yeah. And then it was Haitian Jack, who we all know, was famous for the Tupac line, the snitch named Haitian Jack. And this was the first time Jack ever talked about the whole situation.
Because all I've ever heard from that.
Huh?
Say his name.
Haitian Jack, bro. It was it was the first time we ever heard Jack's side of the story.
Yeah, because all I ever heard was that he was the reason Pac got killed. Or whatever. He was the cat that Pac shouldn't have been dealing with.
Yeah. Let me, Biggie talked about it. Mike Tyson talked about it. But now it's the first time we're hearing from Jack.
Tyson said, yeah.
But it was interesting because Jack's story made the most sense out of all of them. But then when you hear from everybody else,
wasn't no real gangster.
And Jack wasn't the first person to say that.
He was like, Tupac wasn't no real gangster. He wasn't no real G. I thought, man, Haitian Jack put it down, goddammit.
And there's no knock to Pac either because Jack wasn't the first person to say Pac wasn't no gangster.
I remember the first person I heard say it was Ice-T.
Come on, man.
He was like, real gangsters did it and talked about it, and Pac was talking about it and going to do it. You know what I mean?
Pac became a gangster when Suge bailed him out of jail, and he had to do that. Like Pac was the son of a Black Panther, of a
Feeney,
and he was
born.
He was an
jail.
Actor.
Yeah,
he was a performer. He didn't turn into a gangster till Suge came and bailed him out. And there's no disrespect to Pac because personally,
didn't he blast at the cops though?
But that don't mean you a gangster because you blast at the cops.
I mean, but that's some gangster shit.
It is, but that's don't mean you a gangster though. That just means you did. You know what I'm saying? It's two different things.
You mean you did some gangster shit?
Yeah, but that was part of who he was. That was part of what he stood. That was part of what his mom stood for.
Because he never claimed to be a gangster. He was a thug.
What does thug life stand for? Do any of y'all remember?
I just watched the interview that he did in jail with Fumi in the background, and he talked about it.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know nigga is never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. That was another one of Pac's acronyms. And this is not a knock on Pac because personally, I love the first two Pac's albums better than the last ones. I mean, and I love Machiavelli's 7 Day Theory. I thought the double album was really good, but I love Tupacalypse Now and the first 3 albums more than any of that because that was the real Tupac. But this isn't a knock Tupac story.
Apocalypse Now was definitely like before I knew Pac was like a big superstar, I knew Apocalypse Now was like some like different kind of hip hop.
Period.
What's the song he got on there? Violent.
Yeah, Soldier
man.
Story. All I
Soldier
wanted
Story.
to be was a soldier. Like,
come on, man.
That was Pac. But when Suge came and was the only one that could come get him out the joint.
Hey, they telling me I'm violent just because I refuse to be silent. Like,
these hypocrites be having fits, but I'm not buying it. And they used to bang. Like if you had some sounds in your whip back in the day, you was definitely bumping violent. But again, this isn't a knock Pac conversation. It was just about Haitian Jack and finally getting to hear Jack's side of the story, which made more sense than any of the stories that I've ever heard. But then when you hear people talk about Jack,
the hate you give. That's
the hate you give.
Okay. Yeah, but when you hear Jack and when you hear people talk about Jack and who Jack was, then you understand more. But it was just cool to hear Deb, Jack, Big U, Trick.
So I want to know what was Haitian Jack's, the foundation of his point.
Just that it was a lie.
Spoiler. Okay, so it was a lie.
It was a lie.
Okay.
Like he wasn't like he said Pac's. So they both caught a case, and they was based. He said Pac's people told him to say F Jack, and Jack was like, "Man, we supposed to be together, man. We supposed to take this together and work it out." But he let the people tell him, "Forget Jack," and push me to the side, and then that wore Pac's whole. He already was going. Jack was
down the hole.
Jack was trying to tell him, "Look, Joe, you're not a gangster, Joe. Be cool. Let me." Jack said, "I'm the one that got Pac fly. If you remember Pac before, he wasn't raw.
No, this was leader of the underground. Yeah, I mean, he's just a regular dude.
I put him in Versace. I put him in Rolexes. He was like, I gave Pac his first Rolex. I brought him around to show him how to be cool, how to blend in with business people."
Just ends up being a sad situation.
It was. But I'm just saying it was cool to hear Jack's side because we never heard from him. This was the first time he ever addressed the entire
I was
situation.
surprised that he was an actual part of this. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, had to go to the Dominican Republic to get up with him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's over there.
Sir.
He's over there.
I'm definitely going to have to peep that.
Yeah, and then Trick from Detroit. It was cool that they hit everything, the West Coast, the Midwest, the South, and the East Coast. Trick, we know from Detroit, he had the no-fly zone.
Yes, sir.
You know, he was famous. I think Eminem basically put him on.
Mm-hmm.
Eminem don't get a lot of credit for putting Detroit on the map.
He put Detroit is probably forever in the hip-hop conversation.
Yeah.
Because of his stint. You know what I mean?
And being, Proof, RIP to Proof. Proof was one of the members of D12. He was like Detroit hip-hop. And Proof was basically
Mekhi
Phifer in 8 Mile.
Yeah.
That was Proof.
I feel like coming up in the 2000s, if you were my age, you were part of that Eminem kind of initial surgence onto the scene, and Proof definitely was the sidekick. You know what I mean? When you heard what happened to Proof, it's like, what the hell? Like, I didn't even know it was like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, and the D is ugly.
Yeah, man.
It can happen to you.
Yeah, man. And I feel like the times Eminem, he hasn't even really spoken on that besides like, man, that's something that's real to me.
You saw what Trick said. He couldn't even really talk about it. Anybody, when you bring up Proof in the Detroit hip-hop conversation, that's something that people can't really talk about to this day because it was senseless, didn't have to happen. And again, if it wasn't for Proof, might not be an Eminem, may not be a Trick, wouldn't be any of these guys.
Eminem doesn't make it anywhere without having somebody for real to vouch for him. Like he needed that vouch.
Like Trick said, man, when I heard, such and such, and I looked and saw it was this white boy, he was like, oh, hell no, dude, serious. And then once M put Trick's name in a rap after he was already who he was, come on, man, that was the only aid and assist he needed to be able to do what he's done now.
Real.
So it was cool to see Trick get his flowers. The no-fly zone was always cool. I remember the story about, I don't know if people remember, about Young Bird getting his chain. The first time Bird got his chain stolen and they took it on tour.
Yeah,
that was Trick.
What?
Oh, yeah. That was Trick. Took Young Bird's chain on tour. And then
all
Bimmy.
Type of videos. And
yeah, had everybody taking pictures in the chain. It was a long story behind that, but it's out there if you want to find out what happened. But then also Bimmy, the last guy that was in the documentary, which is Deb Antony's little brother, who was part of the Supreme team. And if you know about the Supreme team, that was who 50 when he was talking, Supreme McGriff.
Yeah, my niggas on Supreme.
The Supreme team was like, you just got to do the history. I can't really tell you about the Supreme team. You can go on YouTube, go on Google, type in Supreme team, and Kenneth McGriff will pop up, and you can do all the knowledge. But Bimmy was one of them guys, period, bottom line.
This sounds super thorough. You know what I mean? It's not your typical
hip-hop documentary.
It's
not. And that's what was great about it. Those guys needed their stories told. If you were in the industry or knew part of the industry, then you knew who these people were to a certain extent. But for them to be able to, again, tell your own story. Yeah.
It's more than just the Biggies and Pops. You know what I mean?
The streets, bro. Mm-hmm. The streets. They are the streets. Like you hear Deb talk about Nicki, finding Nicki and finding French and finding Gucci, and the stories of how, and then the betrayal, and then getting involved with these record labels, and just all these different stories that you would never even hear about if these people wouldn't be able, again, to own their own voice and tell their own story. When it's told from a third party, you know, it gets
by Paramount.
Yeah, man.
Universal.
Yeah, I'm just happy that FX, whoever's over there running the show at FX, salute. That was a great job. And again, once you get into season 3 and they bring in Haitian Jack, I feel like that's when it starts to really get interesting. But to be able to put all 5 of them together and intertwine their stories into one, and for it to make sense, and it was dope. That was one of the best watches that I've seen in a while. So shout out to FX and Hip Hop Uncensored.
I'm glad you brought that up. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this documentary, but I stumbled across a documentary about Woody Allen and his situation with his stepdaughter and his ex-wife and their kids, and the sexual assault that he put his own family through. I watched it because I remember the talk of when the Surviving R. Kelly series came out, and a lot of people were like, well, where are the documentaries on the white guys? You know what I mean? Where are the documentaries on Harvey Weinstein and Woody Allen? And I watched the one on Woody Allen, and I just want to say, R. Kelly has nothing on this cat.
Just like R. Kelly didn't have nothing on Buddy. What was the last one that came
Weinstein?
out? No, the Buddy with the island.
Are you talking the cat that got killed in jail?
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein Island.
Bruh.
Come on, man.
Yo, Woody Allen was sexually assaulting his own daughter.
Look at that mark.
Thank you. That's what me and my girl spent half of the documentary saying. Just look at this dude. Look at this scumbag. You know what I mean? And then married his stepdaughter, moved out the country, and was threatening his wife with litigation, and like the law was just going to be on his side. That ended up not being the case. He ended up having to run to avoid jail time. He's still like safe somewhere, but he's not in America. But it just made me think, oh, yes, if you're looking for a documentary on a white dude that is an absolute scumbag, circle, I think it's Allen and Farrow. Mia Farrow was his ex-wife.
Okay. What's the documentary called?
It's called Allen versus Farrow or something like that.
Okay.
Because that was the legal thing, because they went through a bunch of stuff in court. And it's all taped, like, it's all documented how dirty and disgusting this dude was, like, sexually assaulting his own daughter, bro. Like, around family, just dipping off real quick. You know what I mean? No. So, yeah, I was like, okay, R. Kelly, maybe he belongs under the jail, but maybe we can bring him out in 20 years. Woody Allen needs to be in that forever.
We ain't heard nothing about Kels in a minute now.
It was a year.
Remember every week it was something new about Kels?
A year ago yesterday was the anniversary of the press conference when homie walked through the press conference like, I can walk out of here, fam. Fool.
The anniversary of the press conference.
Yeah, so yeah, a year ago today, they was getting pictures of R. Kelly walking through Cook County, so.
Garda said Oprah and Gayle wouldn't touch Woody Allen. I'm not surprised.
Sonny, the black girl from The View, Sonny Houston.
Yeah.
An ex-lawyer was the one behind this. I thought that was interesting as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and speaking of Oprah, we have our own thoughts on Oprah. Did you even see?
I didn't care.
The royal family interview?
I did not care one bit. Why are we surprised that she was being treated this way?
Water is wet.
I didn't care one bit. Because that was the night the All-Star game was on, right?
That was the All-Star game, and it came out the All-Star game, got great numbers. It beat that out.
Yeah, it should have. Mm-hmm.
At least in our demographic.
It's white America.
The royal family.
Stop it, man.
The royal family is racist. since forever. Yeah.
You know, it's TV, man.
It's TV.
It's TV.
It's TV and it's Oprah. You know what I mean? I feel like if anybody's going to get that kind of stage, it's going to be Oprah. I totally don't understand why people cared that much.
Because it's like a soap opera, bro.
But wasn't that the talk as soon as people heard she was married into that family?
Duh.
The people out there in England, it was like, oh, a black person with our queen? Oh, yeah, it's time for some mixed babies over there, baby. Oh, yeah.
They was like
payback time.
They was like, Prince, gotta cut you off, bro.
Black babies.
Tyler Perry,
not in this house.
Tyler Perry flew in like Superman,
Tyler
bro.
Perry like the Dr. Evil, Jeff. Like, come on, I got you guys.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I didn't care. I was watching the All-Star game, which I didn't care about that either. But at least I was more entertained watching the All-Star game than.
Is that a segue into the All-Star game?
Yeah, for this 5 minutes.
Come on, bro. How boring was that?
It was very boring.
It's
actually.
like I was hoping they ended up saying it at the end of the game, but I was joking at halftime. I'm like, they need to redraft these teams because I don't know what KD was thinking, but he just simply drafted a far less superior team.
Did you see KD during the draft? He looked like he had just got through smoking one.
Oh, gee, he was kicking. He like, y'all know I'm injured,
and
right?
I'm not playing, so I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
LeBron, on the other hand, he's trying to, show his GM status.
He's trying to draft a whip. LeBron trying to draft a whip. He like, Giannis, Steph, Dame. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, he didn't, he like, yeah, I'm about 36. I'm not going to really play in the second half. Dame, go ahead, get buckets.
Go crazy, Dame.
Luka was like, yeah, throw somebody in for me too, because I'm straight.
No. You know what I mean? So I totally was not really entertained. I was hoping that it got closer than it was, because by the time the fourth quarter came with the Elam ending, it was pretty much sold up.
They 40-packed them though,
yeah,
didn't they? Basically
got rid of them cats. You know what I mean? And Dame, the battle between Dame, the game inside the game between Dame and Steph, even though they were on the same team, I did love that.
No, like I was telling you during the break, I feel like you could see the look in Dame's eyes when Steph hit them first 3 or 4 threes. Like, man, I can do that too, bro.
Like, this is what usually lights my fire.
Jacking him up after that.
Soon as he got in, it's my turn. So I thought it was interesting when they were in together, and they were because I'm sure whether we know or not, it was like whether they said it or not to each other. When Dame pulled from like right inside of half court.
Hey, Steph came right.
He came right back and pulled from that. That's what I'm saying. Like he like, okay, you can do it, so can I. Then Dame was like, all right, well, I'm gonna pull from half then. Back. Then Steph was like, I'm gonna pull from half then.
Right back down.
Back.
Right back down.
Dame was like, I'm gonna pull from a step behind half court. And it was like, okay, now y'all gotta chill.
Exactly.
Even though it's still crazy to me that they were actually shooting jump shots, though. They weren't
straight
like half
pull-ups.
court.
They weren't heaves. It wasn't a prayer, fam.
Those were literally formed
in rhythm.
In rhythm.
It was beautiful, bro.
It was crazy. Yeah, they both ended up hitting 8 threes apiece. Dame finished with 32. I think Steph finished with 28. Dame hit the game winner from half.
And did you see Steph was waving goodbye?
All day. And that's what I'm saying. When they got in, it was fun to watch them together.
Yeah,
because
bro.
the camaraderie, it's still competitive. We still competing. It's still that inner competitiveness. Like, I'm telling, and Dame was like, there's no doubt Steph is the greatest shooter of all time. But I can shoot them. I can make those same shots.
Good luck telling me I can't do that.
You know what I'm saying? So I like that. I like Dame giving Steph, those props, but letting people know that I can do it too. But we talked about during the break, Giannis for MVP.
I just didn't agree with that. You know what I mean? And it goes along with how I feel the NBA is operating. Like they don't care about what it actually is. They want Giannis or Zion or LeBron in that space. They like, look, Giannis 16 for 16. I don't care if they was all putbacks right up under the rim.
Yeah, he had a couple
with a smaller
threes.
dude on his back.
Yeah.
It's like, look, All right, let's see Giannis pull up from where Dame and Steph was pulling up from.
No.
Okay? I would have been leaning more Steph or Dame in that MVP conversation.
They could have split it. How about a co-MVP?
Yeah, split it, but I feel like that 16 for 16, even though it was 16 for 16, was less impressive.
Yeah, because they're not playing any D. So if you're going to dunk 13 balls.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the three-point contest? Steph won me a few dollars. I didn't catch it. The guys were telling me it was a plus 175 in the morning. I caught it at a minus 120. So okay. I think I turned 45 into like 89, 60 or something like that. So that was cool to almost double up. But if I'd have caught him at a plus 175.
Not to say you come up.
Yeah, but it was no doubt that I knew Steph was going to win. But remember,
Herb said it on the kickback.
On Sunday. But remember, y'all made me I said, I'm going to take Mike Conley. He was a close second.
Gee, Mike Conley
wasn't he knocking out? He was knocking that boy down, wasn't he?
Mike Conley had the burner, and he didn't do too well in the All-Star game, but yes, he did his thing.
And that's not really his style of play.
Exactly, it was on the whim. He was playing actual basketball.
Yeah, you can't do that in the All-Star game.
What did you think about the dunk contest, man?
I mean, it was tough.
Oh man,
it was tough. But I mean, this is what I was telling y'all from the beginning. What more can you do, bro? We've seen every dunk possible. People called the Anthony Simons dunk whack because he took the ball from 12 feet.
Yeah.
12 feet, bro. The rim is 10 feet. The ball was 12 feet.
And then is this the one where he tried to kiss
the
right?
rim, yeah. I felt like that was pretty creative. He didn't kiss the rim. But
he didn't kiss the rim. And I know people was holding that against him, but it's like, how do you kiss the rim on the way down? You know what I mean? It's like without busting your teeth.
He was literally up above looking at the square of the backboard.
I feel like we've been conditioned to accept like all these crazy versions of athleticism that's not impressing us no more, even though it's like, gee, Fool was looking down at the rim. And even the first dunk.
That was the worst one. It's like y'all shafted Cassius Stanley. Come on, man.
They shafted him. But see, now, I feel like in the moment, I felt like how you felt. It's like how many times, and I know he went off of the leg he jumped on. Like how many times we going to see somebody put it between their legs?
That's what I'm saying. It's like there's not too much more you can do, bro.
And then Obi Toppin did the Zach dunk where he did the oop it to yourself, catch it with the same hand you ooped it with between your legs and dunk it.
That's crazy that it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but then in the second round, they just weren't ready. You know what I mean? You had the most regulation dunks you could possibly think of. Obi Toppin, I can't even remember what he did.
I know he jumped from the line from after the free throw line between his legs for his last dunk.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna cut it for me.
That's crazy.
And this abbreviated dunk, but see now it goes. I feel like it's completely on the participants. It's on guys like Zach LaVine, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse because the way Zach talks, he talks like a player that's where the dunk contest is behind him, where he's like above it now, which I think is ridiculous because you get Obi Toppin, who's trying to imitate a Zach dunk in the contest. It's like, come on, Zach, like you are the epitome of this. Like they could rename the trophy after you. Like go ahead and just put one more stamp on it. For us?
Zach like, nah, I'ma just chill.
Well, then if that's the case, is the conversation, is the dunk contest antiquated? Over. Like, is it past its time?
Yes, man. Move on. Let's find a new competition. Let's find a one-on-one. A one-on-one.
Because the skills contest is you know what I mean?
The skills contest is kind of huff too, but it's cool. The dunk contest was the huffest.
Like, what is a contest that highlights the freakish nature of where athletes are today? Like
one-on-one.
They run a 21.
A 21. Ooh.
I mean,
a 21 would be wicked.
What's crazy is I actually had this idea in college, right? And I did a whole report on it, and I ended up doing some research. Dr. J played like Wilt Chamberlain before.
It was Kareem.
Yeah, Kareem in a pay-per-view.
One-on-one.
But then they was like, you know what? if somebody gets hurt, it's over. You got to wait till they done.
But if you do the same thing in these dunk contests, what if somebody happens to, and we haven't seen it, but it's still a possibility. Like you could go up, jump all that way, come down and tear your ACL. Like
I definitely love the King of the Hill idea, even if it's the players that we don't really know like that.
You got to put that bread on the line though. That's the biggest thing is the bread. It ain't enough bread, man. For these guys,
are we gonna get like a James Harden versus D-Book or something like that? Yeah, I mean,
for $5 million, them guys are playing in a 1-on-1.
You doing a 1st to 7?
Whatever.
By ones?
Whatever. 1st to 5. By whatever the case is. Make them take them. Crib style. No foul. Well, we can't say no fouls, but old school. Come on, man.
Style,
the way
fouls.
We came up, man.
About to have teams pissed. Like, no, you can't do that. You can't play in that this weekend.
Hey, Adam Silver, the bigs, Herb Howard, the guys, we're available, man. We can talk numbers, but if you want to add some creativity to your league,
we have some ideas.
We got some ideas, man. NBA, we know you guys are watching On the Soil. We can talk. We can give you some creativity. We can give you some ideas to spruce up All-Star Weekend because it's been tough.
They stole the Elam ending from the
TBT,
TBT, so you know they're watching. They're looking for ways.
Keep your third eye open. Ron Rilla, take us to break, man. You'll be back on the soil with the bigs. We got our last 25 minutes. Allen Robinson got the franchise tag yesterday.
It only matters if one of two things happens.
And we're going to talk about that because I'm done with you guys. We'll be back. You're on the soil with the bigs.
WIIFTVPM. Parenting in a Pandemic, powered by the Chicagoland Mom Squad, hosted by me, Tennille Jackson. Today's guest will be Beulah McLeod. We know her and love her first and foremost here at What's in It for the Black People Media. We also know her and love her in the Chicagoland Mom Squad. Her life's work has been about leveling the playing field so that no matter what a child's zip code or economic status might be, he or she would have access to high quality education. What principles and values have been the most important for you when it comes to raising your daughter?
First of all, consistency, discipline, boundaries, with a lot of love, right? So from the time Asia was young, like she had a bedtime.
We would say that again out loud for the people in the back.
She had a bedtime. And no matter, it's interesting because my ex-husband and I have been divorced for like over a decade now, but we tried as much as possible to kind of mirror each other in terms of routines and habits, right? Okay. So if she had a bedtime at my house, she had a bedtime at his house. We tried to do that in tandem. Exposure is key. So exposing her to as many things as possible, as many opportunities as possible, allowing her to explore as many of her interests as she wanted to. And I think that's paid off because she's a creative child who now, and you know that she started her own business during the pandemic and just found really creative ways to keep going. So I think it's important that if children have interests, that you allow them to explore them because you never know where they're going to end up or what they'll land on. And she laughs to this day and is like, Mommy, thank you so much for just letting me try different things.
Life is a stage, basically. I was raised in these mazes, name the streets, the players of reputations. Faithfully make G's with more cake pastry.
Yes, it is.
As I take a sip of this fifth that makes me shiver, you could probably sail a ship on this river full of liquor. We stay afloat where hope drowns in addictions, a potent mixture. This is the picture that depicts us. We live it up, giving what we were given, gave our all, refused to give in or give up, willing to risk it all. Gee, we lived on a tip drunk, dug deep in the trenches, shit, we knew what the risk was. But of course again, it's the same story when shots fired in the alley hit shorty valedictorian. Where's the support for him, the less fortunate, another life lost, another day in court again. 20 years for the defendant for any sort of grin. Ward of the state, he was raised in the orphanage. To where it all began, the source of it. Empty cupboards, floorboards, no money for the store again. That's all he knows.
Just where I come from,
All of what I've learned, most of what I've done, I owe it all to the people that I love. I hope you're proud of me wherever I go. I'm from.
It's all political. What you tripping for? The richest ones get riches from the richer ones. On the tip with hype, tippy toe. For a fix a blow, getting dope. Running every type of give and go. No Philip drumming in these different strokes. Where we come up on these risky roads. Pray for a pot to piss in for the kitchen stove. Criminal capers just to get a song.
Back down on the soil.
Yes, sir.
I'm T-Time Ryan as usual with my player partner, Eugene McIntosh.
Yes, sir. What's the Dylan's Fulioski?
Gino, man. I know you and Herb, y'all call me Dolo T, but I know I cannot be alone on this one,
You are
man.
Dolo T more than ever on this one.
I gotta see what's going on with Bears Nation and how they are feeling about what's going on with the team right now, because as each day passes, I get a little bit more confident. I get a little bit more confident that week one, either Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson is going to be the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. But before the end of this segment, you'll know why I feel that way. We should start with this, though. Shout out to Dak Prescott, who checked a huge bag a couple of days ago. The negotiations between him and the Dallas Cowboys lasted damn near 2 years, and the end result is Dak cashing one of the biggest bags in NFL history.
4 years, 160.
4 years, 460, right?
No, 4 years, 160. That's 40 a year, yeah.
Yeah, but no, he's getting 75 in year one. I think he's guaranteed 121.
No, he's guaranteed 121.
Guaranteed 121?
Yeah.
And that's the most guaranteed money in NFL history.
Wow.
You know what I mean? He's going to be getting $75 million in year one of the contract. I literally had to make sure I read that right when I read that first time.
And the Cowboys will finish 8-8.
Do you see those weapons?
I don't care.
In Dallas?
Man, Dak Prescott is cool.
But did you see the numbers he was putting up before he got hurt?
Yeah, but
he was
did you see
averaging 500 yards a game?
What was their record?
Whatever they were moving in the right direction.
Well, yeah, in the NFC least, of
in
course.
the NFC least, but you're talking about an offense with Dak, Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb,
buddy from Alabama. What's his name?
The number one receiver over there, Amari Cooper. And then you got Michael Gallup. Then you got a couple of tight ends that's nasty. You're talking about a serious high-volume offense with Dak Prescott leading the way. And I feel like that was the basis of the negotiations. Dak is sitting at that table like, could have been the Chiefs, fam. If I was healthy.
Yeah.
We could have been putting up Chiefs offensive numbers.
Sounds good. And our defense would have given up Patrick Mahomes numbers.
Yeah, but see, now he has the bag to back that up.
I'm happy for Dak. I'm happy he got the bag. But they'll be 8-8.
Here's why I'm happy for that move.
No.
Are you ready? Because it took a team out of the running of the Russell Wilson sweepstakes. The Cowboys are one of the teams that you heard could be in the talk for Dak. Now the Bears don't have to worry about him. You feel me?
Brother, look here.
I'm so disappointed at the Bears fans that are just sweeping this under the rug. You know what I mean? The Bears have never, ever had a quarterback.
Let me ask you this.
No.
Let me ask you this.
It's two out there,
Before you continue, let me ask you this. Do you think the Bears are a quarterback away from going to the Super Bowl? Or making a deep playoff run?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay,
then that's different. Then if you think so, then that's different.
You just said in the NFC East,
We're not in the NFC East.
Where no team is really head and shoulders above
them people. The best team was what, 6 and
and the Bucks
10?
and the Bucks won. You know what I mean? And they beat Green Bay to get there. The Bears beat the pants off of Buccaneers. You feel me? It's like you cannot feel that the Bears are completely out of the question if they get their hands on the top quarterback.
They're completely out of the question if they get their hands on.
I totally disagree.
Okay.
I totally disagree. You know what I mean? The Bears' biggest issue all last year was how inadequate they were at the quarterback position.
Fam, they have one weapon. Shout out to David Montgomery, but he was over. David Montgomery was overused. He had to compensate for the lack of.
So out of nowhere, David Montgomery is suddenly overused. After we,
I didn't say he was overrated. I said last year he was overused because the offense was that trash.
We spent half of the season saying that he was underused, and now he's overused.
With a top tier offense, David Montgomery does not need 25 carries a game. He needed that because the Bears' offense sucks.
And they were down a running back.
Yeah, Tariq Cohen is cool.
But, yeah, I mean,
Tariq Cohen is not raw.
I feel like I'm getting like whiplash.
Yeah, I gotta smack you around.
Because first I'm like, okay,
got to smack him around, Ron Rilla.
Tariq
Cohen
is a decent running back now. Now we're overusing David Montgomery. Look. All I know is that Allen Robinson was a Pro Bowl wide receiver.
True.
And Darnell Mooney on the other side was looking like we got something. You know what I mean?
Say that again.
Darnell was over there looking like we got something. He straight up took Anthony Miller's spot.
Anthony Miller's Huff.
But see now, his attitude is Huff. I feel like he
didn't produce anything.
Enough talent.
He did, but
to be in that conversation.
But it didn't turn into anything on the field.
Until a better player came and straight up
rookie.
A rookie, yes. But see now in this league, that it doesn't matter. You can come in as a rookie and kill.
But Darnell Mooney, let's not act like he was buddying them from the Vikings or the Lions.
No, but can you imagine him with a really? I don't even want to say a decent quarterback. Can you imagine him with a good quarterback?
Okay.
You got a weapon. You got a weapon with a good quarterback over there.
Who's a good quarterback? So. We're talking about Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson. We're talking about top 5
Those are the only quarterbacks that matter to me right now as a Bears fan, because I feel like if one of those two guys ain't under center week 1, the Great Migration, okay? And I'm Henry Abbott, okay? I'm the cat telling y'all I'm putting my snake in the grass over there with the Ravens, okay? This is the new home.
You better.
Okay?
You did a 6-piece out there in Baltimore already. You better go ahead out there and make it your home, bro.
See, the Bears have to be better than this, though. Okay? They have a prime, almost damn near a layup Ryan Pace. Ryan Pace, bro. You won't ever have to do anything else in your NFL career.
Okay.
Trade for Russell Wilson.
How about this? So we know the Bears have franchised Allen Robinson.
That is the latest news. Allen Robinson will be getting $18 million a year by way of the franchise tag, unless the Bears give him an extension before the July deadline.
So we know the Bears are lacking in cap space, which means if they want Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, major things have to happen. Major.
Rework those contracts. I mean, we just saw Christian McCaffrey just did it today.
What did he do?
He reworked his contract so that the Panthers can have more money to spend in the offseason.
Christian McCaffrey, you better than me.
Tariq Cohen. Ben Roethlisberger.
Tariq Cohen, you're tripping. I'm not reworking my contract for nobody else. Y'all work that out. That's y'all job to work that out. That's not my job, bro.
Okay, now here's my question.
No, let me finish. All right, go ahead.
I got an A-Rod question for you. If you're the Bears, why even tag him if you're not expecting a better quarterback to come in here in the next season? Because they could have let him walk. Detroit let their quarterback go, and they let Kenny Galladay go.
Who did they let go?
Matt Stafford.
They didn't get nobody?
They got Jason Goff. Jared Goff. Shout out to Jason Goff. But I feel like
they got something.
But if you bring in Jared Goff,
To who? To the Lions?
Yeah, if you're the Lions and you let go of Matt Stafford,
that means we're starting over.
But is that completely waving the white flag?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Why do you give up your top receiver? You know what I mean? I'm looking from the Lions' perspective.
Why do you give up Kenny Galladay?
Yes, it's because you're not expecting anything really. Like you're
I
in
agree.
rebuild mode.
I agree.
The Bears are not there yet. They brought Allen Robinson back because the mission has to be one of those two quarterbacks.
No, the mission has to be Sam Darnold, Nick Foles, or Mitch Trubisky. Is what it will be.
Again, that's what Bears fans are used to, and I don't blame y'all because it's like, why do I put my hand back in the fire if I keep getting burned? I'm looking from a perspective of if the Bears were a good organization, if they are who they say they are, we sat up and we heard George McCaskey say, we're a smart organization. Everything they did in the last season contradicts that. But if you look at this offseason, what else should be on the to-do list? It's like we need a quarterback. And if it's anything, I mean, Ryan Pace came out in the last.
Man, that man didn't answer a question, bro.
But see, now one thing he did say we haven't made a decision on Mitch Trubisky.
Which is why I'm telling you, Mitch Trubisky will be our quarterback.
Which makes me feel like they have made a decision on Mitch. If you're bringing him back, you don't say that.
Well, because we still got Nick Foles.
Because if you like Mitch Trubisky, then you just say it.
Okay.
If you want to bring Mitch back, you just say it. You just say, we're hoping to bring Mitch back.
Okay, Mitch doesn't come back. We still have Nick Foles.
Don't even mention that name because the only reason he's still on the roster is because you're contractually obligated to him being there.
Okay.
Because he put his name on the dotted line. That's the only reason he's there. They would have cut him
the
day after the season.
Again, if we want Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, you have to trade everything.
Where's the Shannon Sharp? That ain't no problem. That ain't a problem.
Okay, so then now you bring them in. Now what? You don't have your best 3 defensive players.
We'll see. No,
you might not have Darnell Mooney.
I feel like that's a stretch because.
Okay, 2. Jalen Johnson and Khalil Mack, or Jalen Johnson, Kyle Fuller, or Jalen Johnson and Roquan, or whoever. Yeah.
See, I think it would be more of a combination of Jalen Johnson and Roquan. At least if I'm another team, they're the youngest cats. Those are who I want.
I need an offensive player, and I need a pick.
Contracts.
I need a decent offensive player, and I need a first round pick.
Goodbye.
Actually, I might need 2 first round picks.
I'll holler.
So then what do we have coming back? What does Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson have to look forward to? Rebuilding?
No, because when you bring those guys in, that's just the beginning. I mean, you know that after that, you bring in, you get the ramifications of bringing in a top quarterback.
What is that?
You're going to get another wide receiver that you may get another receiver. You may get another running back.
In the trade?
Or free agency.
I don't know about
come on friendly deals because of the opportunity to play.
What free agents are going to make that big of a difference?
I mean, and I don't want to put Kenny Galladay is going to get paid from somebody's team.
Right.
But he's out there. Emmanuel Sanders is out there. Chris Carson.
I saw they let Emmanuel Sanders go yesterday.
The Seahawks let go of Chris Carson.
He's the running back?
Yeah, he's had injury issues. But he's a guy that you completely team with another running back and you have a top duo in the league as far as your backfield goes with Chris Carson back there. I mean, you look at what's the tight end the Bears drafted.
Cole Kmet.
I mean, you look forward to having being the first good quarterback that Allen Robinson has ever played with, knowing that he's put up Pro Bowl numbers with bums. You know what I mean? You know that this is a playoff team, even with a trash
Say that again.
You know that the Bears made the playoffs.
Why? And you said it. Why did they make the playoffs?
Because of the defense.
No, because of Corona.
Because of Corona, but I'm just talking about from looking at the positive parts of this team was able to be in the playoff picture. Because of their defense and in spite of probably having 2 of the worst quarterbacks in the league play for you. They still won how many games? 8 games?
That's the worst place you can be in football.
But you got there having a Huff bum-ass quarterback.
So now you'll lose your two of your top 3 or 4 defensive players and probably one of your better offensive players. Doesn't look good. Doesn't sound like I personally feel like the Bears are not Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson away from.
What you just described, do you know what you have now? You have a modern-day football team.
You got a 6-10 NFC Central.
No.
What division are we?
NFC North.
North.
You have a modern-day football team that's not trying to come in here and act like you're the monsters of the Midway anymore, okay?
Oh, well, once we lose that.
And then on top of that, you finally have a quarterback that can do what Matt Nagy wants you to do. And you know what that is? You make the decisions on the field, fam.
Because obviously I've shown that I'm not Andy Reid.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, yes, honestly, from all parties involved, it just makes sense. Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace get another shield in front of them if they bring in the top quarterback.
Hey, man.
Which they can continue their Rasputin ways. Nobody knows how long their contracts even are. You know what I mean? So they're in the business of regaining lifelines. You feel me? And they like, look, we give up a couple of defensive players and a couple of draft picks, which Muggs have won in my head every time I drafted anyway. So I don't even want to use those no more. Are you telling me it's 2 quarterbacks out here? So I'm just saying, the chances of them getting, is Sam Darnold has a better chance of being the starting quarterback for the Bears from day one. He does. If you want me to say that, I refuse. Okay? I can't fix my lips to say that because that means I'm out the door. You know what I mean?
Hey, Ron Rilla, we can't get out of here before we get this word of the day. I'm going to let T have the last word as far as the Bears are concerned. We may want to continue this conversation on Wednesday. I don't want to continue the conversation because I know what it's going to be at the start in week 1.
But see, now, keep the pressure on these cranks.
That's above my pay grade, bro. I'll just sit back and listen for the news, bro. Sam Darnold or Nick Foles. Last word for the Bears?
I refuse.
On that note, I know we pressed for time. We got the brothers coming up next. Herb, Howard, Cousin 2. I said what I said. Today's word of the day.
Hit me, Joe.
Billet doux.
That has to be French.
BILLET-DOUX.
Okay.
Billet doux. It's a noun, and you're right. It's French, late 17th century.
Shout out to my pops.
A love letter.
Of course, the French word has something to do with love. Okay.
I saved every billet doux I exchanged with my college girlfriend. She left only a box of billet doux from an unknown boo. Billet doux.
Give me the meaning of it again.
A love letter.
A love letter. The Bears do not sign a top quarterback. There will not be any billet doux for me. Only hate emails. No.
On that note, because I knew he had to end it with some Bears talk. Sam Darnold, we'll see you at the press conference in July. On that note, you have reached another episode of On the Soil, man.
Yes, man. Another one.
We appreciate the family members. Everybody touched down with us on the book, Periscope, Twitch, the Gram, LinkedIn, whatever your social media choice is, man. We appreciate everybody joining the conversation, man. We're going to get y'all into the conversation more. We see all the comments. We see y'all having a conversation in the comments, and we more than appreciate it. So with that being said, man.
Real family.
I said what I said up next. Cousin 2, Herb Howard.
The Gods.
Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. right here on the network. for myself, for my player partner T-Time, for
It's
Ron
us.
Rilla holding us down behind the boards.
The producer.
Y'all know what it is, man. Show love, spread love, stay away from the haters.
It's the Bigs
Circulate
way.
the dollar with your people, man.
It's the Bigs way, man.
The only way, man. But more importantly, always, always, always keep it player, man. I see a lot of non-player, unplayer individuals running rampant out here, whether it's in the streets, whether it's on social media. It's out of control, man. So keep your third eye open. Stay out of these individuals' way, and continue to do y'all, man. So until Wednesday,
it's us.
We out.
Empty cupboards, floorboards, no money for the store again. That's all he knows.
Just where I come from, all of what I've learned, most of what I've done, I owe it all to the people that I love.